Conjuring 2 is once again directed by James Wan and is a continuation of the incredibly successful The Conjuring. Ed and Lorraine Warren travel to North London to help a single mother raising 4 children alone in a house plagued by a supernatural spirit. When I heard that there was a sequel to The Conjuring, I was very excited to see it, and I was really happy that the film turned out to be a fantastic horror film that in many ways was better than the previous movie and was able to expand upon the characters in a meaningful way. So after all these years, how does The Conjuring 2 hold up as a sequel? I am happy to say, after giving the film another watch, The Conjuring 2 is indeed still a fantastic follow-up to the original Conjuring. It expands upon the characters in very meaningful ways and touches upon themes of family and tries to explore how these two families are able to strengthen each other as they come together in order to fight against this supernatural spirit that is terrorizing them, especially when it's about a single mother trying to do whatever she can for her children. She doesn't have a husband by her side, yet she still does whatever she can with all of her strength to try and protect her children. And that is very much thematic with the Warrens, as they too have a child that they want to protect with all their lives, and you do feel for them as a couple who love each other so much that they're willing to do whatever it takes to try and protect this family as they see a bit themselves and understand what they go through. And I think it's something that I felt like the newest film touched on a bit as well and expanded upon with the Warrens in a deeper and meaningful way that I'll get to later. But I felt like with this film, it is given just enough character development, especially with the characters interacting with one another, and this little girl that is the one being terrorized the most by this supernatural spirit. She's seeing things that are creepy in the dark, a shadowy figure, an old man that is terrorizing her, and you want to see her come out the other side unscathed. You want her to be okay, and I really loved how James Wan was able to bring such a human story here that felt a lot more impactful than the first film. And I loved the first film, but I felt like the human story, what the characters go through here, was a lot more meaningful for the characters this time around. It expanded the characters and further developed them in very meaningful ways that I was able to grow even more attached to them than I did before. And that just made me care a lot more about them whenever things start to go wrong or something creepy comes out of the night. And all the horror sequences and how they're directed here felt a lot more tense than they did before. All the paranormal activity stuff that happens throughout this film, all the creepy spirits that haunt this family, all the jump scares that pop out at you, you feel the tension. They feel like that they can actually do some harm, that they're about to kill you, and you're just fearful as to what is going to happen next. How are the Warrens going to be able to defeat these spirits that are haunting this family? And you really do care for what happens whenever something goes bump in the night. Like all the paranormal stuff that happens here, especially in terms of the filmmaking sense, felt a lot creepier than they did in the previous film. I think I do like the aesthetic and overall cinematography of the previous film a little bit more. I think the overall cinematography here was still really good. It is a different location, so there's obviously going to be a different look, and the film utilizes that to a very beautiful degree. The blues, the cold hues that you see throughout the film that light this entire house up, it felt like you are in a very ethereal world in a way whenever a spirit does come about. And sometimes the spirits do get a bit personal with the Warrens themselves. I especially love this scene with this one spirit of an old man trying to talk with Ed Warren, and the conversation gets personal a bit, and you could tell that this bothers Ed a lot, and just decides to end the conversation a bit afterward once he feels like he's getting nothing from this. But the spirit is when he starts to get a bit personal about his life and what has led him here to this point. So overall, The Conjuring 2, really fantastic sequel. Expands upon the characters in a meaningful way, builds the universe in very exciting ways, delivers exceptional horror sequences, and overall was a really great story with great direction, great filmmaking, great cinematography, really creepy atmosphere and music. This is everything you want for a horror sequel and more. I'm going to give The Conjuring 2 an A. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.